کنفرانس در کنگره آمریکا، سیاست آمریکا در قبال ایران و کم پیشرفت. دیدگاه کنگره 26 ژوئیه 2011 4 مرداد 1390. ایلیانا روزلهتینن، رئیس کمیته خارجی کنگره آمریکا. قاضی تدپو، عضو کمیته خارجی کنگره آمریکا، عضو زیر کمیته تروریسم و منع گسترش تسلیحات کشتار جمعی. جان سانو، نایب رئیس بخش محرمانه و عضو مدیریت اطلاعات مرکزی آمریکا، ریاست تیم رهبری کننده شورای امنیت ملی در دولت جورج بوش. اندرو کارد، رئیس دفتر رئیس جمهور آمریکا 2001-2006، وزیر راه و ترابری 1992-1993، وزیر دادگستری آمریکا 2007-2009. جان بولتون، معاون وزیر خارجه 2001-2005، سفیر ایالات متحده در سازمان ملل 2005-2006. باب فیلنر، نماینده کنگره آمریکا، نایب رئیس کمیته بازنشستگان نظامی، رئیس گروه پارلمانی حقوق بشر و دموکراسی در ایران. شیلا جکسون لی، عضو ارشد کمیته قضایی و کمیته امنیت داخلی کنگره آمریکا. ترنت فرانکس، عضو ارشد کمیته قوای مسلح کنگره آمریکا. راسکو بارتلت، نماینده ارشد کمیته قوای مسلح کنگره آمریکا. دان لانگرین، رئیس کمیته مدیریت کنگره آمریکا. جودی چو، عضو کمیته خارجی و کمیته قضایی کنگره آمریکا. پروفسور استیون اشنیبام، وکیل مجاهدان اشرف، استاد دانشگاه جان هاپکینز و سناتور رابرت توریسلی. کنفرانس در کنگره آمریکا، سیاست آمریکا در قبال ایران و کم پیشرفت. دیدگاه کنگره 26 ژوئیه 2011 4 مرداد 1390.
Good morning. My name is Ted Poe, and I represent the great state of Texas in the House of Representatives. And I'm glad to be here with you today, along with our very, very distinguished panel of freedom fighters, as I call them. Freedom fighters similar to the ones that we have here in the audience. Similar to the freedom fighters that we have halfway around the world in Camp Ashraf. You know, throughout the histories of peoples, every person that has ever lived has always had deep down in their soul the desire to be free. We're all made that way. No matter where we're from or what we look like or what part in history we have lived. We are made that way. Unfortunately, most of the peoples that have ever lived have not lived with freedom. They have been under the oppression of some ruler. The battle for freedom never ends. Only the enemies change. And we are engaged upon a great battle for freedom today with our friends, compatriots, and family members, to some of you, in Camp Ashraf. The Foreign Affairs Committee, on which I serve, last week dealt with many issues regarding foreign relations. One of the things that the Foreign Affairs Committee did that I think was outstanding was pass an amendment to H.R. 2583. That amendment is over here on the wall. It passed by voice vote unanimously in the House Foreign Affairs Committee. I want to commend the chair, Eliana Ross-Layton from Florida, and all of the members of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, both Republicans and Democrats, who made a stand and voted for that amendment. It is important for several reasons, because it sets the tone. It sets a marker for where the United States stands in dealing with the issue of Camp Ashraf. First of all, the United States is committed to preserving and making sure that the residents of Camp Ashraf are safe. Second, the Foreign Affairs Committee, through this amendment, states that the people in Camp Ashraf are not to be relocated somewhere else in Iraq. They are to stay where they are. And thirdly, the amendment states that UNAMI, the UN overseeing the safety of Camp Ashraf, will be located in Camp Ashraf, all in the name of preserving the peace and the safety of those residents there. Freedom fighters, as I call them. Recently, myself and other members of the Foreign Affairs Committee in the House, we went to Iraq for several reasons. But one of those reasons was to go to Camp Ashraf and see the conditions firsthand, because of the reports that we have heard about what's taking place in that camp and how the Iraqi government is suppressing freedom in that camp. So we met with Maliki in a meeting that lasted almost 2 hours. And in the discussion that we had with Mr. Maliki, we wanted to hear the Iraqi side of the story about the invasion into Camp Ashraf in April, where over 30 people were murdered. So, Mr. Maliki gave us the official Iraqi position, basically stating it was the fault of the residents of Camp Ashraf. That's why they all died, those over 34, and others were wounded. And after the conclusion of his presentation, we asked him, well, let us go to Camp Ashraf and get the other side of the story. I used to be a judge for a long time. And there's always two sides to anything. So we suggested, okay, you've made your presentation. Let us hear what the residents that survived have to say about the April invasion. That's not going to happen, he says. You're not going to Camp Ashraf. Why not? Was Mr. Maliki afraid of the truth? Was he afraid that we would learn the truth?